Bear Brown gets temporary protection order against man allegedly involved in search for brother Matt exclusive. Solomon Bear Brown has been granted a temporary civil protection order against a man in Washington for alleged stalking and harassment in the weeks after his brother's tragic suicide. My eldest brother Matt recently ended his life, Bear claimed in a July 2 court petition obtained exclusively by us on Tuesday, July 21. A witness reported seeing Matt's body floating down the Okanogan River. However, the volunteer search and rescue organization was unable to locate him. The former reality star claimed a man who was involved in a private search and rescue group allegedly located Matt's body. Bear claimed not to know this individual, who has chosen not to identify aside from his association with the local Washington town and the recovery of his brother.
Flies and gnats invading your kitchen? Plug in the Zevo Flying Insect Trap to attract and catch flying pests with blue and UV light day and night. Want to check today's Amazon deal? Scan the QR code now or visit grabdeal.us/1 before it's gone.
He does, however, allege the man vaguely claims to have been a very close friend of my brother, has since the search incessantly attacked me online, including on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Bear requested the court schedule a hearing for a full protection order, which was subsequently granted and set for later this month. The incessant and increasingly unhinged attacks are extremely concerning. He has posted dozens of videos on social media, spewing hate and vitriol against my family, he alleged, per the documents. In particular, he has targeted me repeatedly, making all manner of bizarre and strange claims, including that I sent people to harass his family, even though I do not even know this individual, and publicly defaming me by bizarrely claiming that I was responsible for the Palmer Fire in 2020. The Palmer Fire was a wildfire that began on August 18, 2020 in Okanogan County, Washington, scorching a total of 17,988 acres of timber, brush, and grasslands. After appearing for 14 seasons on the Alaskan Bush People reality TV show, I have become a recognizable personality. Unfortunately, what comes with being recognizable is unwarranted criticism from fans, followers, and naysayers. Bear continued in the docs. The best way to handle it is usually to ignore it, which is what I try to do. However, I am afraid that his behavior has become too erratic and dangerous to ignore. Bear claimed that a July 1 social media post from this man is perfectly representative of why I have become afraid for my life. He also asked the court to include protection orders for his ex-wife Raven, mother Amora, brothers Noah, Josh, Gabriel, and sisters Snowbird and Rain. He also requested the court to order the man to stop posting, publishing, sharing, or encouraging the disclosure of any personal identifying information of me, my family members, or any other protected person, in addition to removing all information from the internet that has already been posted. Under the temporary order, the man has to stay at least 1,000 feet away from Bear and his family. Part of the reality TV star's request also includes a court-ordered evaluations for both mental health and drug and alcohol, and that he surrender any and all firearms he may own. Bear pointed to a concerning comment on the man's most recent TikTok video. It stated, with regard to me, returning to Washington to attend my brother's funeral, that he is locked and loaded, waiting with my dog, he wrote in the petition. This rises above the behavior of some immature, petulant blowhard who will eventually tire himself out and occupy himself with the next shiny thing that catches his attention. This is an active threat to harm me with a firearm. He added, I genuinely fear for my life. I likewise fear for the safety of my family members who will be around me while we attend my brother's funeral. I do not know what to expect, other than his own representation that he is locked and loaded, and all that statement plainly implies. Bear said in docs that he also contacted the local police for any guidance, and a deputy acknowledged that the man in question may indeed pose a danger, and encouraged him to file a request for protection order. Bear also claimed that this man has publicly posted his cell phone number, along with phone numbers of most of his family members. And as a result, his family has since been subjected to an onslaught of unwanted text messages and phone calls, severely disrupting our daily lives, our privacy, and our sense of safety. The former reality star also alleged that this individual very recently engaged in increasingly strange, hostile, and disturbing behavior involving my deceased brother and my family. After locating my brother's body, he filmed and posted images of my brother's deceased body from the knees down, which I found deeply inappropriate and upsetting. He then took possession of my brother's truck, displayed it as a so-called memorial in town, allowed people to vandalize it in the name of ceremony, and repeatedly refused to return it when asked, even stating that he intended to keep it. Bear also alleged that this man used copyrighted intellectual property and my brother's image to create and sell t-shirts, claiming the proceeds were for charity to help the family. Yet we have not received any of those funds. When confronted about returning the truck or profiting from images that do not belong to him, he becomes enraged, abrasive, insulting, and threatening. He continued. Over time, his conduct toward me in particular has become increasingly aggressive, spiteful, and unstable, including demanding an apology video from me despite my having done nothing to warrant one. Bear claimed when he arrived in Washington on July 2 to assist with his late brother's funeral arrangements and cremation, he was within miles of this individual. His most recent posts are threatening and unhinged, including statements that this was my last chance and that he was going to make me pay. Based on this escalating pattern of behavior, I am genuinely concerned that he may attempt to assault me or shoot me, and I fear for my safety and the safety of those around me. Because the man had not yet been served with court papers, Bear's temporary protection order was reissued by the court on July 14, and the next hearing is set for July 28.